Let's jump into some questions, Michael. We asked our client base for some questions to put to you. We've got about 11 or 12 of those to run through. So let's start from the top. So Michael, what are the 3 things you would do today if you or your parents were starting to think about aged care in the next few years?
It's a great question. I think the main overarching theme is get a plan in place now. So get a plan in place now while your parents are still well, when you start to see the signs that they might be heading downhill, so you're not having to do it under duress and with 3 days notice and they're in a hospital bed and they've got to leave. And when I say get a plan in place, probably if I could outline 3 things, it would be start to understand the different levels of care. So there's home care, there's retirement living, there's residential aged care. There's a whole spectrum here, and there's a difference between each of those. So you want to have a look at which one is right for mum and dad. The second would be to start actually having a look at a few facilities. So there's a bunch of aged care facilities in the area. They all have different clinical requirements, different costs. So you want to do a tour of those and understand what your options are. And the third, which a lot of people don't do, is start to understand mum and dad's financial circumstances as well, which is where you guys obviously would come in there. It's tough when you're having to do that while they're in hospital or under that pressure. You want to figure that out ahead of time. And I would say, just as an overarching theme there, this isn't a DIY exercise. You need to get professional advice because there's a whole range of pitfalls and different areas where you can make mistakes. So that's where our service comes in, that you want to have professional advice. The last point just on that is often the responsibility falls on the children. Mm-hmm. It's not so much the older people that are making these decisions because they're the ones that are unwell. It's that sandwich generation where you've got kids at school, you're trying to run a business, and it's all happening very quickly, very stressful. So you want to get a plan in place ahead of time to save you really going through that process.